From the inside, emotional unavailability often feels like living behind glass. You can see everyone around you connecting, you can hear them talking, but there's an invisible barrier keeping you from actually feeling like you are part of it. In adult life, this looks like going completely numb when an argument gets heated. Or maybe you are highly skilled at intellectualizing your pain. You can explain your past with perfect clarity, yet feel absolutely nothing while you're talking about it. It creates a confusing contradiction. When someone actually offers you genuine, consistent love, intimacy triggers an unexplainable anxiety, and your first instinct is to pull away. You didn't choose to react this way. Long before you turned 7 years old, your nervous system made a quiet decision on your behalf. You aren't broken, and you aren't incapable of love. The way you hold people at arm's length is actually a highly effective biological defense system, functioning exactly as it was designed to. In 1960s London, a psychologist named John Bowlby proposed a theory that explained human attachment. He argued that infants are biologically hardwired to seek emotional connection with the exact same urgency that they seek food and shelter. This diagram illustrates the baseline mechanic of that connection. A child sends out a signal for comfort, and a caregiver provides a stabilizing response, completing the loop. But in many households, this predictable return signal fails. Parents might be dismissive, punishing you for crying. They might be unpredictable, warm one day and cold the next. Or the house might just be perfectly quiet, a place where emotions simply aren't expressed. When a child's reach for connection is consistently ignored or rejected, they are forced to find a way to manage their own distress. They learn that the only way to avoid the pain of being ignored is to stop needing people entirely. Because the brain is exceptionally plastic during childhood, it builds its neural pathways based on these specific demands of the environment. This map highlights exactly where adaptation happens. The amygdala, the region processing emotional threats, becomes chronically hypervigilant. Meanwhile, the connective pathways to the prefrontal cortex, the area we use to integrate feelings, fail to fully bridge. They constrict. This is how the brain learns to override its own emotional signals. In this state, the brain no longer views vulnerability as a path to connection, but as a risk to be avoided. In the context of a chaotic or emotionally empty home, this shutdown is brilliant. It prevents you from seeking a comfort that will never arrive. This specific biological architecture allows you to survive an empty home by becoming entirely self-sufficient, a successful, adaptive response to an unreliable world. Fast forward to today. You have your own life, your own space, and relationships with people who actively want to care for you. But your brain doesn't realize you grew up. The protective wall that kept you safe back then is still standing, freezing out any perceived vulnerability. That outdated defense system is now actively repelling the exact friends and partners you genuinely want to let in. Experiencing this doesn't make you a bad partner. It simply means you are operating on a survival script meant for a danger that no longer exists. Fortunately, attachment styles are not permanent. As this returning brain model shows, neuroplasticity allows those constricted pathways to branch out and form new, fluid connections throughout your entire adult life. Healing doesn't require you to violently tear down the protective mechanisms that kept you alive for so long. It means using therapy and self-awareness to slowly show your nervous system that it is finally safe enough to build a door in that wall. Your early environment wrote the first, necessary draft of your emotional life. You alone have the power to write every draft after that.